Hello. Let me write something down. Okay, let's begin today. This will be. Let me go desktop and then here. I did decide to do December 1997 today. This is probably gonna be really good. Diddy Kong Racing. I think this is the best racing game on Nintendo 64. The one I like the most. One of my friends had this, so I wanted to look at this one today because we go to my friend's house when we play this game. Look at all the games out this time. Metal Gear Solid. Oh, original Diablo. Shining Force 3 I didn't have. Let's just check this out. There's 248 pages. This is a huge one. Okay. Tomb Raider 2. Fighting Force was cool. Ooh. Laura's color scheme looks weird in these pictures. That's a different Tomb Raider 2 cover right there. I was thinking, did we get Tomb Raider 2 in 1987 in December? I might have got this for Christmas or something. It'd be around this time. Oh, Tekken 2. Oh, Tekken 2 is one of my favorite fighting games. I had this one. It's from 1986. Really? The first Tekken came out before that? Wow, that was a while ago, though. This is definitely one of my favorite fighting games on PS1. Soul Blade. There's 248 pages, so I better be careful what I talk about without being boring. Some GoldenEye. GoldenEye was popular. Brett Favre. I probably rented this game. Quarterback Club. Ooh, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. This is the best Castlevania in my opinion. I could do Castlevania on stream, but I don't know if I'd beat it. The original Castlevania is really hard. I don't think I'd beat it on stream. Hello. Just checking. See if anyone's on. Yeah, this is the best Castlevania in my opinion. But the series, I think the series is very hard. That's definitely the one to get. Let's see what we have. Some Sonic game I've never played. Ooh, Sub-Zero Mythology is right here. The buyer's guide. Look at all the buyer's guide for December 97. That's insane. Like now we have to wait for like the big games to come out. And there's only like maybe one or two a month. No, December 97 has like 20 major releases. So Sonic R. This is okay, so this is the Sega Saturn Sonic exclusive that I've never played. Is this just a racing game? I don't want to read from it. So I didn't even know they had this. GM letters. Enemy Zero. Ooh, Sega Saturn exclusive. I did not know this one. Oh, is this a piece? Is this PC also? I'll have to research. I don't know about this one. Nightmare Creatures. I don't. Well, now it looks familiar. The screens. Did I play this one? Why is this? It looks a little familiar, but I don't know if I played it. Oddworld, yeah, Oddworld's. Sorry, fans, no Mortal Kombat game showed up in our 100 best games of all time. That's kind of crazy. The EGMs usually always talk about Mortal Kombat. Let's see. This is a big issue. This is 248 pages. Oddworld won Best Game of the Year at E3. I'll disagree with that. The characters of Chrono Trigger. Did I do Chrono Trigger on stream? I don't know. I don't remember if I did this. Resident Evil. Oh, we had a Rush, or my brother had Rush. We had this on the Nintendo 64. This was a popular arcade game. You get to like really flip your car around and stuff. It's pretty crazy if I remember. I think this is the open world Rush where you could just go look to do tricks and stuff. Go find places to jump off of. That's the same one. Armored Core. I think we read about this one before. Wait, let me. Oh, the big 39 bucks. What is this? Sony kidnaps Lara Croft. After speculation and rumor that Tomb Raider 2 would be coming to the PlayStation exclusively, Sony and Eidos made it official. The two companies have come to an agreement in which the Tomb Raider series cannot appear in any form on another console platform. This is certainly a blow to N64 owners who remain hopeful that the series would appear on their system in the future. At E3, core design was featured in Nintendo's developers showcase video with images of Tomb Raider and Lara Croft suspiciously placed during the presentation. While this doesn't rule out the possibility of a 3D adventure game from core for the 64, it won't have anything to do with the current Tomb Raider series. Wow, that was pretty big. They never got Tomb Raider 2 on Nintendo 64 because I think it went PlayStation and Sega Dreamcast later on, but that was for Tomb Raider 4, so they missed out on Tomb Raider 3. So you'd have to have a PC to play Tomb Raider 1 to 3 or have a PlayStation because they got exclusive rights, it seems. Since its introduction in 1986, Tomb Raider has sold more than 1.5 million units, one of which was mine. I was one of the 1.5 million. We want our best-selling franchise to reach the greatest number of consumers in the PlayStation and its powerful CD-ROM software. The fact that the PlayStation will the only game console which you can enjoy the Tomb Raider franchise is a great statement for the platform. I don't think they could put the Tomb Raider 2 is kind of I can't imagine on the 64. It's probably too much data. I think I had this exact I had the see-through Game Boy Color. It might be this one, I don't know. I had a see-through Game Boy Color like this. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna read this. This 500,000 clouds. Final Fantasy VII becomes the fastest selling PlayStation game ever. Final Fantasy VII marked Sony's biggest PlayStation software launch in the system's 2-year history. It also turned the once niche market for RPG games into a mainstream title, which is so true. No other console RPG has been promoted as much as Final Fantasy VII. In its first week of sales, Sony reported that it had sold 300,000 copies of the game, selling 30,000 more than Nintendo's Star Fox 64 in the first week of sales. I think, if I'm correct, Star Fox 64, though, it looked horrible too. I didn't like Star Fox 64. The game sold so well that Sony likened its sales to Labor Day weekend top grossing film G.I. Jane, which is what's Demi Moore, the Demi Moore movie. This is also the Chris Rock joke where Will Smith got mad and slapped him because his wife's bald, and G.I. Jane's bald in the movie. That was the joke, but yeah. And in its first weekend, Final Fantasy VII grossed $16.5 million, more than that of Demi Moore's latest film, which grossed $11 million. The fact that most stores began selling the game about 5 days before its real street date of September 7th, the game had a little more time to gain an edge, but performed very well. Less than 3 weeks after its launch, Sony reported the game had broken sales of more than 500,000, obliterating Sony's own sales records as the fastest selling PlayStation game ever, and the fastest selling console RPG ever. To boot, Final Fantasy VII broke into VSDA's top 5 video game rental chart at number 3, breaking a chart that Nintendo 64 games have dominated for the last 6 months. With its second week of rental availability, it had edged Star Fox out for the number 2 slot. It was closing the gap between Nintendo's hit GoldenEye 007. Sony is continuing to promote the game throughout the holiday season with radio promotions and as a featured game in their Pepsi promotion. Final Fantasy VII will appear on Pepsi and Diet Pepsi through the holiday season. I don't remember that. That's a weird kind of sponsor. Sony has created 3 different TV spots, 4 print ads, and numerous point of purchase displays for the game. Pre-sales on Final Fantasy VII told over 200,000, breaking most software chain records of number of pre-sales. Compared to the Japanese debut, the game's sales in the US during the first weekend pales in comparison. Japanese gamers clamored for the game, making it sell 2.5 million copies in its first 3 days of availability. On October 2nd, Square released a new version of Final Fantasy VII into the Japanese market called Final Fantasy VII International. The international version includes all the improvements made to the US release and includes a 4th disc of extra goodies, including a complete map of every area in the game, monster guide, and more. That would be really nice to have had back then, because when you first play that game, it seems gigantic. You don't exactly know where to go or what to do. You get lost, I guess. If you're in your first play in the original, I think people get lost what to do. The guide was probably perfect for that game, because there's so much to learn. Every time you play that, I guess, you learn something new. Fighting Force. This is the same people that made the Tomb Raider games, but it's a fighting game, or beat 'em ups. I think I don't know if we own this game, but we definitely rented before. That might be a quick stream Fighting Force we could do. I don't think that game's very long. Let's see. 1. The top 10 best-selling games in Japan. Breath of Fire 3, PlayStation. That was a big one. Desire, Sega Saturn, I don't know. Fighting Illusion K1 Revenge, PlayStation. That's interesting. Kickboxing was very popular in Japan in the 1990s. And I always liked fighting. And this used to be, they back in the day, K1 had all the top fighters, all the top kickboxers. And they do huge crowds at like the Tokyo Dome, like 60,000 people for kickboxing. And they'd have these huge tournaments every year, and it was amazing knockouts. Some of the most brutal knockouts were in kickboxing. It was very good times for that sport. So baseball, 97, I don't remember. Pocket Monsters, Game Boy, Everybody's Golf, Derby style, Monster Farm. I think I played Monster Farm. Cold Borders 2, we had one of that's the snowboarding game on PlayStation. Silhouette March. Interesting list. I don't think I don't even know if the K1 Revenge released in the States. It might have. Interesting to see what's selling. Death Trap Dungeon. I don't think I played this one. Great Wall. Moto Racer. This looks like I was gonna say it looks like Road Rash, but it doesn't in a way. I played something like this before. Electronic Arts. Bomberman 64. I do remember that one. Bomberman's still around. I think it's only. I don't know if Nintendo is exclusive on it anymore, though. They gave it. What is this? I think someone sold one of the Nintendo. If this is one of the original Nintendo development kits, I think it sold for a lot. I think I read something about that. Quake 64, we had this one. I got so tired, like multiplayer games got so popular around this time after GoldenEye. And we'd play like stay up all night and play these shooter games. I hated this game because I never won. I think the multiplayer, you have to be really fast. The shooter games nowadays are like look way better than this, but this was one of the big ones back then. Croc was big. What else? Dracula 3D. I don't know if I played Dracula. Lamborghini 64. I think someone had this around the neighborhood. So is Sonic R? Okay, so Sonic R is definitely a racing game. Was Sega Saturn's first Sonic exclusive a racing game? I wonder if it was. I wonder how this works. It says 1 to 10 players. You'd have to get like because this is before online play. You'd probably have to get like an extension for the controller ports if it's gonna be. How do you play 10 with 10 people? That's crazy. Ooh, hockey. I always thought the hockey games were the best sports games in the 90s. Oh, I might be biased because hockey is my sport, but I just think the hockey games back then, like none of the sports games were all that good back then, but the hockey games were like fun, even if they didn't look spectacular. Nowadays they look spectacular, but they're not as fun. Maybe because it lost its arcade feel. Because like every year, Madden, the NFL series, the games look the same. They play the same. There's no competition, so they just don't have to improve their game. Because I think they have exclusive rights for the NFL. Wow, Star Wars fighting game, and I definitely remember the cover. I don't know if about this. I don't know if I played that one. Someone had this though, because I remember the cover. Dude. Oh, Quan Chi. I think I'm almost certain I got this game for my birthday. I think it was 1997. It must have been around the time. Well, I remember we went to Toys R Us, and in our Toys R Us they had the huge game selection in town, and they had these big, the see-through screen, so you can't just grab it. You'd have to get like a number or something. They'd have hundreds of games, and they were advertising Sub-Zero Mythologies. Like who is this guy? I remember because I was all obsessed with Mortal Kombat, and I believe this is Quan Chi's his debut in the series. I just thought, whoa, he looks really crazy and cool. But when I think it might have been for my birthday or around that time. But I remember this game is so hard. This game is impossible. And this is one of those games. If you play on easy, you actually can't beat the game. It won't let you fight Quan Chi at the end because I believe you have to play on normal or hard mode just to get the elevator to work on the final level, on one of the final levels to get to the boss fight. If I'm correct, it's something really weird, but they'd like totally screw you over if you played on easy mode. Then you couldn't actually beat it. So it was just a really mean game because it's so difficult just to get to the final level. Notoriously hard game. Notoriously kind of bad game as well. So it was just a huge disappointment because I knew this game was coming out, but they did the second Mortal Kombat movie and this game came out at the same time or around, and they're both really bad. It killed momentum for sure. So Enemy Zero is the game I was kind of looking at. This is the Sega Saturn exclusive, it looks like. I don't know, it looks like Resident Evil or something, but I don't know. We'll have to research more about that. That's a funky controller. It's like a Batman weapon. Robot Soccer. Dude. Turn Fire 2. Magic Knight. I did not play this one. X-Men vs Street Fighter was okay. This was like a renting game. You play this for like 2 hours and then you get tired of it. Not one of my favorites. Dude. Bust a Move. I was not good at that game. I don't know if I had the third one, but I was never good at this one. I remember that. Don't remember Silhouette Mirage. Street Fighter Collection. It's crazy. They keep doing all these Street Fighter Collection games because there's another collection that just came out. Maybe it's the Street Fighter vs. Marvel Collection. There's a new Street Fighter Collection game. It's crazy they're doing that as far back as they did because they're cashing off the old games, of course. The new Street Fighter was not very good. Saturn Bomberman fight. So the Bomberman on Saturn is notoriously high priced. And it's not like a game you could you want to replay a lot. For collectors, though, this is a game. Shining Force 3. This is like a dream game I've always wanted to play, but I never had the Saturn. So for this game, I'd have to find like an emulation for this just to even play. Because I beat the first two Shining Force games and they're like all-time classics on the Genesis. On the Sega Genesis. They're two amazing strategy traditional strategy games. Yeah, Vandal Hearts was really good fun. I'll probably love Shining Force 3. I could see they probably thought it was like outdated. Maybe that's why. Maybe at that time everyone was focused on other like RPG games. Maybe it was the strategy simulation games like this. They kind of went away. But I think there is kind of they could bring this series back in, make it improved. I think it would go over well. I think people are looking for something different these days too, gaming wise. Another Street Fighter game. I played so many Street Fighters. I don't even. The cover looks. I don't know about the name. Sounds very familiar though. I probably played it and don't remember. Alundra on the PS1. So I have this game, but I don't think I beat it. So this might be something we eventually go to on stream because I actually have Alundra, but I've never beat it. So that's something I would like to play. The RPGs on stream don't do good numbers usually though for me, but that's like we could play Alundra eventually. Excalibur, Tennis Arena. NBA Action, All-Star Hockey. It sucks, like, in all the old hockey games, my team's the Sharks, and we always had, like, really bad teams in the 90s. Like, it was really hard to be the Sharks and win. Because they had, like, all, like, bad players on the team. If you have, like, star players in the older games, they're, like, way better than the B players. And nowadays the NHL games, the superstars, they're faster, but they're not like. It comes down to technique in the new one, because they'll just make the superstars faster. But what is this? They're doing these weird angles. Is this another Sega Saturn game? Last Bronx. I think that's what it says. So many Sega Saturn games. Whenever we've been doing these mid '90s retro streams, it's just, these Sega Saturn games. They look interesting to me because I never played them. Most of the PlayStation and 64 bigger games I played. It's like a learning experience for me, even though a lot of this is nostalgic and I played. It's nice to know about these other games I did. Ogre Battle. I don't know if I have this. I might have it. I don't remember. But this is another simulation like one. Really boring to watch probably on stream though, but for some reason I like these kind of games. Boo, Wayne Gretzky. I don't know if I should say this, but I actually punched someone in the face because they liked Wayne Gretzky, and Wayne Gretzky was always playing. He'd always play here against the Sharks and kill us. So I was very angry the Sharks were losing when I was a little kid, and I couldn't really control my temper. But I did get in a lot of trouble that day. I was like 6 or 7. Hockey is the one thing it's hard to control my temper about. It's such a agitating sport. I'm like an intense hockey fan. I can't. It's hard to control my emotions when it comes to hockey. Need for Speed. Which one is this? I'm a little. I don't know. Manhattan Project. I don't remember. Ooh, the original Diablo. I want to read about this because this became the first Diablo sucks. This one sucks, and it's. I think this one's the hardest one too, but the Diablo after this one, life changing. Spend so much time playing the second one, so I'm gonna read this one. I want to see about this because this one came out on PlayStation, I believe. Came out on the only PlayStation maybe and PC. Diablo has sold over 750,000 copies on the PC worldwide, and that's a number from a few months ago. With incredible numbers like that, it was only a matter of time until Blizzard's action RPG found its way onto the PlayStation. Diablo became popular partly because of its simple gameplay and excellent multiplayer capabilities. Obviously, Diablo's multiplayer mode was accomplished over the internet on the PC, but on the PlayStation. Only 2 will be able to play simultaneously. Exploring dungeons and hacking thousands of creatures to death describes Diablo perfectly. 3 different classes of characters are available: Wizard, Warrior, Archer, and each builds up his powers by accumulating hit points, objects, and new weapons. The game could loosely be called an RPG, but the emphasis here is action, not role playing. It will be interesting to see if Diablo on the PlayStation can magic the magic that made the PC one so popular. So I'm guessing not, because the Diablo 2 didn't come out on the PlayStation. But everyone seemed to have it on PC though too. My 2 cents. Diablo's one-player mode on PC was lacking, but its awesome multiplayer features, up to 4 people could play, more than made up for it. The PlayStation multiplayer capabilities were substantially less than the PC Diablo, and I'm skeptical as to whether Diablo on a console system can be nearly as fun, which that is true, because PlayStation 1 did not have online play yet. I don't know if PlayStation really mastered online play until like PS4 anyway, because the PS3 had had so many problems with the online play. I'm guessing that the PS4 was the first good era for the online play. So it took a real while for PC or PlayStation to catch up to PC. But multiplayer was a thing, but multiplayer, I think, a little after PS3. Because I think Xbox had that market, the PC market. Because that's Microsoft, obviously. But if you want to play multiplayer games like Halo, I think you'd play on the Xbox and not the PlayStation. So they were always behind in that area. So I'm thinking Xbox had more multiplayer games in mind anyway. That was never their strength, it seems. Shadowmaster. Arcade's Greatest Hits Midway Collection. Most of these games, like I think I played, but they're just so hard. They're made to just steal your quarters at the arcade. They're like really difficult. I wish I was like better at these kind of games, but they're just too hard. Ew, not Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Oh, this movie broke my heart. I probably already told the story. I went to the drive-in to see this movie with my dad. It was so bad. It was wow. My eyes were like, um, my eyes were watery because I was like so mad. They just, it was so stupid. The story was, yeah, it just was horrible. One of the worst movies. That's what a shame, because I really liked the first one. And some people didn't even like the first movie, which is really crazy to me because it has everything I like. Test Drive 4, yeah, I played that one. That was a good one. That was a really good one. Monster Rancher. I rented. So this was actually a surprisingly good game. I remember I rented that because I had nothing. I think maybe at my grandfather's, and we'd stay there over the summer. So we like knew no one around that city, so we just gamed a lot. And that was one of the games we rented. I actually kind of liked this one. Skull Monkeys, don't remember. Crime Killers, don't remember. Gex, Enter the Gecko. Is this the first Gex game or the second? Because if this is the second one, I had this one. But this one doesn't have the snow. Maybe I had the third Gex. Is this the third one? I don't know. It's been such a long time. I'd actually like playing something like that. Doesn't seems like it would be very stressful. Beast Wars. Oh gosh. Or look, some of these old games have such horrible graphics. They don't look good. It's a Hasbro. Yeah, probably not. Alundra. So they're pushing Alundra in December 97. I'm honestly, this is kind of like the game. Like sometimes I read these magazines just for the like games, like just to put on my wish list of what I want to play. Alundra would be kind of fun. That'd be a fun like retro project to do. This is that weird shooting game that Square does the RPGs, and they have a shooter that was really weird. I don't. I think I play. I don't. This wasn't a Japanese release, was it? Because somehow I played this one. Maybe they haven't. It was imported, but this is. I did play this one. So that's a weird. That was a weird one. I know people really like the shooter games, but I feel like the shooter games, if you play it once, that the replayability is not very good. But I don't. That's just me. I kind of like Zelda. You could like replay like 10 times, figure out new stuff every time. But with the shooters, I just think they're kind of one and dones. They're harder to go back to, I think. Chocobo's Mysterious Dungeon. I've heard of this game, but I didn't play that one. Final Fantasy VII International. It sounds like they got basically like a map and guide with the game. I wonder what the difference is, why they had to remaster it or update it to the US version. Something must have happened in the Japanese version, I don't know. Bomberman World, Ghost in the Shell. Metal Gear Solid. So I've played Metal Gear Solid. This is considered like either they're saying the most anticipated PlayStation game ever, but I think that was probably Final Fantasy VII. But I think I had I had Metal Gear Solid VR missions. I don't know if it was before this one, but it was really hard. And when I played this, I was probably too young, and I just supposedly it's like the best one of the best games of this generation, and that I never beat. Which this might be a reason why I should go play this one, because they did remaster this one for PS. They did it's either PS4 or PS5. They remastered, so you could actually play this one relatively easy. And I don't mind going back and playing stuff I've never played. It doesn't always have to be replaying the same games over and over on stream. But if someone wanted me to play Metal Gear Solid, it'd kind of be a first play because I didn't like finish it though. And I only played a little bit of it. So it would be like playing for the first time again. We'll see if anyone wants to play that. Because I could easily get that one. Mortal Kombat version 2. Who is it? Is Noob Saibot is not in the original. He's a secret character in the Mortal Kombat 4, I think. You have to do something to unlock Noob Saibot. So that's very suspicious why he's included in this version. Is he the only one they added though? Because Kai was one of the new characters in MK4. Chinook was the new boss. Jarek, I think his name is Jarek was new. Fujin was from the mythology, Sub-Zero mythologies as well. He's a bad guy. But I think in the game he's a good guy. You have Tanya, who was responsible for killing Liu Kang. She sets up Liu Kang in the game, yeah. Quan Chi, Quan Chi's my favorite, probably. He's a pretty badass bad guy in the series, anyway. I probably should read this part, because I don't know what version 2 means. Because they did Mortal Kombat 4 on Dreamcast with additional characters. Maybe that's what they're talking. Mortal Kombat 4 has update already. Yes, the game had barely hit arcades when we learned version 2 already on the way. This installment features the return of two much needed old schoolers, Johnny Cage and Jax, along with new moves, changes to old moves, and new secret characters. So the secret characters were it was Noob Saibot, you could play as Goro, and a character called Meat, and he'd be like bleeding the entire time. He's like a bone and flesh character. I might be forgetting one other person, but for sure those are the three that I remember. As you know by now, Noob is no longer a selectable character. He and Ermac will probably appear in the game as special characters. I don't remember Ermac in the MK4, but Noob Saibot I think is, yeah. As it stands, the select screen is the same, except in the middle you have left to right. A strange, almost Jarek-looking character, name unknown, Jax with the cybernetic arms and all, and Johnny Cage complete with his world's famous crotch punch. In the version we played, the moves for most of the characters are different, but it is unknown if that will change. So MK4 was the first one, full 3D. So it's completely different than the first three games, because those are just 2D. This one, you could utilize the playing all around the arenas better. And the fatalities were actually pretty cool in this one. Not that they weren't in the other ones, but the fatalities kept getting worse and worse. In a bad, or in like an evil way, I mean. Furthermore, the weapons are now... Yeah, there was weapons. You could pick up weapons on the ground in this one. The game also lacked endings and bosses. That's not true. The PlayStation version had the endings. But this is only the arcade they're talking about. So the PlayStation or the 64 version, I don't even think they had been released, because that's 1998. Gameplay mechanics for MK4 have been fully implemented. One of the complaints of MK3 concerned the button tap combos. These have been removed for the most part. You must now rely on skill and using and use of juggles. Each character has his own pop-up move that you must master to acquire more than 5 consecutive hits. Unfortunately, not all combinations that worked in the previous MKs work on the newest installment. Last of all, fatalities are in full force. Most of their turn combatants have revised versions of classic fatalities. Liu Kang's dragon looks incredible in 3D. That's true. I did MK Gold on stream. I didn't do MK4. We could do that later, though. Because I do have MK4. Jet Moto 2, that was a popular one. Cade. The Coming Soon. Wow, Resident Evil 2 hadn't even been released. I might be doing that on stream really soon. The remaster. That's definitely on my mind. Gran Turismo hadn't even been released. Wow. The original Grand Theft Auto hadn't even been released. This is crazy. Road Rash 3. Wow, there's tons of games I ended up getting on here. Nintendo 64, not as much exclusives. Saturn, yeah, last days of the Saturn. Oh, so we have all the big 64 games at the time. Wasn't Wave Race the 64 the first game that came out? It's one of those. Diddy Kong Racing, yeah. We played this game so much. That was my favorite. That might be my favorite racing game on this in that era of games anyway. Super Mario 64. Oh, that's all timer right there. The Shadows of the Empire. This might be the hard Star Wars game that I remember. Mario Kart 64 I always thought was overrated. Always thought this everyone had this game, but I thought it was kind of overrated. GoldenEye. Oh my gosh, we played GoldenEye so much. That is the best multiplayer game of this gaming generation, probably. Dang, we played this one so many times. What a classic game, though. That game changed everything. Test Drive 4. Persona is a big series. Never really got into that. They put this game on the PlayStation Mini, though. On the PlayStation Classic. I'm pretty sure they did. I did not play that one, though. Let's see what else. Colonial Wars. I don't know. I don't think I played that one. Is that right? Nintendo 64, $150. Because, like, that's a really good deal for a 64. You can't get video game systems for that cheap anymore. You know, the Nintendo coming out is like gonna be $500, $450 at least. But after tax, it's probably gonna be $500, and you're only getting like the new Mario Karts coming out. That looked interesting, but I get tired of playing Mario Kart after a while. There's a Donkey Kong game this fall, but I don't know. We'll see. I almost would get a Switch 2 just for the unboxing, doing an unboxing. Maybe people would like that if I got it night one. Oh, Crash 2. So I think Crash 2 is way better than Crash 1. It's like way easier. Well, it's not way easier, it's just Crash 1 is really hard. I've been like, I've been scared to play Crash on stream because I'll get mad. The original Crash is really hard. I heard Crash Bandicoot 4 is really hard. Or Tekken 2. Gosh, I played that game so many times. I bet people would like if I played Crash Bandicoot on stream. That seems to get a lot of views on here. On other people's streams. Critical Depth. Oh my gosh. I haven't seen this game in so long. My brother had this game. Wow, I've totally forgot about this game. I don't know how we ended up with this game. This is that underwater game. I've not seen this in years. Oh my gosh. Critical Depth. I totally forgot about this game. Wow. Oh, I think I was Lockjaw. That looks familiar. That looks really familiar. I think that was my. That's what I played as. Wow, it's been so long since I totally forgot about this game. We had that one though. Wow. Saturn Sega system isn't quite the cool gift it used to be. It wasn't like they screwed up so bad. They never really recovered. The Dreamcast was really cool. They just never recovered. PlayStation took all the non-Nintendo people, it seems. This is a thick magazine. This is a lot of pages for EGM. Even though they have like the big video game books, but this one in particular is huge. Dragon Ball. Cool Borders 2, yeah, that was a fun one. I've never done a snowboarding game on stream. I don't know what game this is. Jedi Knight. British Invasion, I don't know that one. Oh, this is. Wow, were they all. Oh, all the gaming. That's all the gaming companies there. That's pretty cool. It seems like there's not as many game companies as there was, because all like the top ones are going to like they're working on the big projects, of course, like God of War, or they're doing the Grand Theft Auto, or they're doing the Pokemon. It's weird because there's more like it does seem like there was more major video game studios. Maybe they were due for a crash because the games got so expensive to make. This Banjo Kazooie. This was a fun one. There's Lara Croft again. There used to be a probably everyone knows there used to be a rumor there's a cheat code for naked Laura, but I think they just they made the code to set people up, and it's really you just explode. It's this like self use like explode your body like a grenade hits you. So they actually tricked people. They would just say, "Oh, this is how you get naked Laura," and then you'd blow yourself up and die. I still think Tomb Raider 2 is one of the best games, and that's crazy. It came out so long ago. I do wish if they made a movie, it would be based on the Tomb Raider 2 story. I think that one would be fun. I don't know, Tomb Raider movies not so good. Rain Man, another one on the PlayStation Classic that made the PlayStation Classics mini device. So the reason why I chose this to do this one today is that my, my friends got a Nintendo 64 on Christmas, and we got the PlayStation on Christmas. So we went to each other's house to play all the different consoles. And one of the games we always played was this game. This game was it was like Super Mario Kart or Super Mario 64, but the racing version of Super Mario 64. And I always thought this one is probably the most underrated racing games like ever, because this one is not like you could just travel wherever, you discover like secrets around the area. This one is what I would hope the new Mario Kart world is like. Like the art style is it's maybe looks outdated, but I want something like a racing game that's somewhat open world in a way. And I thought this is the game that was best. It should have been considered the best racing game of this era. Because I think Gran Turismo, as a simulation racer, it looks amazing. It plays, they did so much great things with that series on the PlayStation. But this has like a fun factor. And the art style with Nintendo, it's just different. And that this I would hope this series would get revived, because this is like, if you're from the 90s and had a 64, you had this one. And it was so fun. Oh, this one was so fun. It almost makes me want to play this on stream. We could do it on stream. This is the one I hope the new Mario Kart is as fun as this one. Because I agree, this is way better than Mario Kart 64. You don't get that many characters, 8 characters, but oh, this one you get a flying character, and you could just traditional get the car. Oh, this one is so amazing. I wish everyone played this one, and I wish this is this one of those games. Why don't they remake this game? Why don't they just remake this one? This one, well, Mario Kart World's coming out, so maybe not. But this, I never understood why they didn't do more from this series. College football, they just they made a new college football game, but I don't know, because it's so hard. Like, how do you make the overall characters in the game like equally match how good the actual college football teams are? Because they're not pros. So that's always been my thing with college football. They're gonna make only certain players good in these games. It's almost the exact opposite of the hockey games nowadays. I think the main characters are too good, or like the main athletes. Because I heard there's like an Ohio State player who's a freak athlete. He's getting the first 100 grade in a college football game, and while he deserves it, I think he's also getting, if you're like a 100 and half the other players in the college football game are like 50s, and it's going to just not make the game very fun because it's not competitive. If he's going to be catch everything, run faster than everyone, that's my problem with the college football series. I love college football, but it doesn't work. Jet Moto 2. We could do Reader's Choice. Game of the Year, all systems. Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Diddy Kong Racing, Final Fantasy VII, GoldenEye, International Super Soccer. No way. Madden 98 sucked. Saturn Bomberman. They're just putting this because they need a Saturn game on there, probably. Star Fox 64, no way. Street Fighter 2 Collection. Tomb Raider 2. So this, for me, I had most of these games. Oh, it's so hard because Tomb Raider 2 and Final Fantasy 7. Oh, those are two of my favorite games ever. I'd have a hard time choosing. I don't even want to say which one I like more because Tomb Raider 2 is probably my favorite Tomb Raider. I don't want to say it, but that's interesting to list. That's a hard, because people, they're going to have their reader's choice, and so you only have to vote on one of them. I don't know who they end up picking, but I guess it's not going to be Tomb Raider 2, but I don't know. That's a hard one. 97 is a hard year. So Saturn Game of the Year. Albert Odyssey, Fighters Mega Mix, Madden 98, Mega Man X4, Saturn, Bomberman, Shining the Holy Ark, Sonic Jam. Sonic Jam, is that? I don't know what that is. Street Fighter 2 Collection. Look at how disappointing that list is. And Saturn collapsed so hard because they didn't have the big title. I didn't even like. If you asked me which one probably won it, maybe it was just Sonic, because Sonic is Sega's mascot. Because none of those ones I really. Shining the Holy Ark, I probably like. Sports Game of the Year, Goldstorm, Soccer, Madden 98, MLB, World Series Baseball. Well, I'm biased. I really like hockey, so I'd probably choose Face Off. I like the Face Off series. N64 Game of the Year, Blast Corps, Bomberman 64, Diddy Kong Racing, GoldenEye, Soccer, Madden 64, Mario Kart 64, Machine Maker Star. I would guess GoldenEye won. I'd guess GoldenEye won this one. Diddy Kong Racing, definitely up there. Arcade Game of the Year, House of the Dead, which I've always wanted to play. Lost World, MK4. So MK4 came out on arcade. That's why it's in this. I don't think it was out on regular systems. That makes sense. They had it on arcade. So I think I played it on arcade first. Anyway. And I couldn't understand who the heck was on the side of the Mortal Kombat machine. Because I think it was Quan Chi, wasn't it? Yeah. I was like, who the heck is this guy? They're introducing a new character on the side of the arcade machine. Tekken 3. Tekken 3 is the best Tekken, maybe. I'm going to say, usually I'd go Mortal Kombat, but I think Tekken 3 is the best. I'd vote Diddy Kong Racing. That'd be easy for me right there. PS Game of the Year, Castlevania, Wars, Crash 2, Final Fantasy 7, Game Day, Oddworld, Parappa the Rapper, Street Fighter, Alpha, Tomb Raider 2. Now I'm having a really hard time. Like, Tomb Raider and Final Fantasy 7, those are both in my top 10s all time. So I don't even want to say which one. I'm gonna guess Final Fantasy 7 won though, which I'm guessing other people would voted that the best. Action game of the year, most of the same. I'm Golden. It's gotta be Golden. I have those. Fighting game of the year. They didn't even list. Oh, well, this is for consoles. I'm guessing they chose Street Fighter Alpha for fighting game of the year. Role playing game. Oh, Wild Arms was very underrated. Wild Arms is definitely one of the best PlayStation RPGs, but Final Fantasy VII is probably the best all time. Light Gun, I didn't have any of these, so I wouldn't know. Time Crisis, probably. Sonic Ages, probably for this. Adventure Game of the Year, Tomb Raider 2, easy. Resident Evil would be tough to beat, but I think Tomb Raider easy. First person, Duke Nukem, that was huge at that time. I remember. GoldenEye is my game though. That's my shooter game. Best graphics. I didn't play Final Fantasy VII for the graphics, but I think popularity that would. Side scrolling. Castlevania is going to win that one for sure, I would think. Puzzle game. Intelligent Cube was the popular one. A lot of people like Bust a Move, but I'd say that one. Best music. Final Fantasy VII, easy. The soundtrack in Final Fantasy VII is amazing. Best sound. I don't know. That's a kind of. I would say GoldenEye because that's my favorite one. So strategy game of the year, that one's easily Vandal Hearts. Vandal Hearts is one of the best strategy games on PlayStation. Multiplayer game of the year, probably GoldenEye. Lara Croft's easy favorite mascot for me. Shooter, Star Fox probably on that one, even though that one's totally overrated. Original game. Parappa the Rapper had some popularity. Harvest Moon on Super Nintendo came out that late. That's interesting. That was a really late release. I'd probably go Parappa. Well, I'd go for the dual analog for PlayStation. WCW versus NWA World Tour. That was an okay one. Rest in peace, Scott Hall. Extreme. I don't think I had that one. Game of the month. Diddy Kong Racing. Easy. That's definitely a 9. Definitely a 9. Easy game. Mace. Don't know. Chief Maker. San Francisco Rush. That was good. Only got 6. That's good. I've read sometimes they have some. Not everyone of these guys likes racing games. I wonder if they have the Sears $10 off because these games weren't very good. Is that what was happening here? They'd give the $10 off to sell the games because they weren't selling good. Dang, what a missed opportunity. I wanted a Mortal Kombat game like that, but that was so bad. WCW NWA World Tour, kind of disappointing. Has a lot of characters though for an old school wrestling game. Duke Nukem, big. Oh, that's big. Yep. What is this? The Power Glove PlayStation? I've never even seen this. I don't remember. Mega Man X4. I wasn't into Mega Man not really. After Mega Man 2 and 3, that's kind of done. Crash Bandicoot 2 didn't get 9s. That's surprising. This is definitely a 9 game, not 8. This is a game everyone had. I don't. This guy has it right. 9.5 sounds right. 8 sounds too low. Fighting Force. Yes, we talked about this one. Channel 98. That's interesting. PGA Tour. I didn't play any golf games until later. The golf games eventually got better. Resident Evil Director's Cut. Doesn't this game go for a lot now too? Best features, they have the Resident Evil 2 demo. Wow, Sub-Zero Mythology got killed. Only a 4. Replayability 3. It's so freaking hard. Whoever this guy is, some Sushi X. This guy always reviewed too in the magazine. He got this one wrong. There's no way this is 7.5. Because this is the second worst Mortal Kombat, other than the Special Forces game, probably. Well, the ones on Game Boy are freaking terrible. But I wouldn't count those. Jimmy Johnson. Ooh, editor's pick. Diddy Kong Racing, GoldenEye, NHL 98, Castlevania, Crash 2, Bomberman, Final Fantasy 7. Wow, that fell in December. That's interesting. Final Fantasy 7 is not a game you like rent though. That one's too long to be a rent game. Number 1 game was a hockey game. I love that. Castlevania Symphony of the Night, exactly easy. Crash 2, Final Fantasy 7, Motor Racer, Madden 98. And 98 sucks. None of the Madden games of the 90s were that good. Pandemonium, Fighting Force Croc, Diddy Kong Racing, easy. GoldenEye, oh, those two are. My childhood are these two. Bomberman, oh. You know the system's not a problem. The Bomberman is your number 1. Marvel Superheroes, man. Duke Nukem. Was Duke Nukem on Saturn before 64? I don't know. Resident Evil. Well, I think I mentioned it last stream. The original Resident Evil on Saturn goes for like freaking $800 now. Congrats to those who have that though. That's an expensive game now for Saturn at least. Sonic Jam. Fighting Force. Okay. It's like a strategy guide or something. Yeah. Tips for the games. So this is before the internet. I definitely have this one in my room. I have Tomb Raider 2, yes. Cheat codes, Chameleon code. Let me read this one. Is this for PlayStation? Oh, this is the Saturn. To play as Chameleon in the game, choose any male ninja from the character select screen. When asked to choose your destiny, pick any difficulty level, and when loading appears, press and hold high punch, high kick, run, block, left, for player 1 or plus right for player 2. That's easier than to get Chameleon. The other one I think is harder. Once the game loads, your ninja will turn into Chameleon. He will switch between the different male ninja characters at random, giving you a variety of moves for the entire set of matches. Well, that's cool. If you have the Saturn. I think for the PlayStation 1, you had to win that entire tower, I think. And then you get to play as him for like one try, I think, right? It's something really stupid to play as the secret character, Chameleon. Oops. Holiday season. I've never seen that cover art for Tomb Raider 2. That's weird. Oh yeah. So so what I said was true because the release date was November '97, and I remember getting that we were playing this on Christmas, and we couldn't get past the first level. The Great Wall is such a hard first level. Oh my gosh, so nostalgic. Most of these Saturn games, if you bought at this price, you can make a lot of money because most of these are hundreds of dollars now, unless you emulate it somehow. Handbreaker. A lot of advertisements. Is this how people got the Japanese imports? I always wondered how people did that back in the day. Oh, that's cool. The original Nintendo 64 box. Yeah, that's cool. I don't think my PlayStation box was the same as that one. Maybe I had a different version. The Game Shark. So many cheat codes with the Game Shark. Yay, we did it. That was a long one. We did 248 pages of the December 1997 issue of EGM. We talked so much about 1997. I feel like nostalgic, but like I kept smiling because like a lot of these games are my childhood, so it's just nice to. Wow, that what was it? Critical Depths, that submarine game. Oh, that one shook me because I haven't even thought about that game since like 1998 or whatever. Wow, this was a crazy stream. I hope the next issue I do isn't 248 pages long because this is a long stream. I'm getting like tired of even talking. But I'll be doing a episode, the next retro magazine sometime next week, and I'm gonna do one from 2001. 2001 is the next stream I'm gonna be doing because I have something I wanted to talk about from that year. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.